3 million subscribers Q&A special. Hello ALUXers, and welcome back to a very special Sunday motivational video. Considering we've crossed the 3 million subscriber mark, we've decided to do the Q&A you've been asking for a while now, and who better to answer your questions than the CEO of ALUX, Mr. Emil Anton. We've collected questions from all of you on our social media channels, and now it's time to answer them.
Hello ALUXers, my name is Emil Anton. I'm the founder of ALUX.com and the author behind the Sunday motivational video. Let's talk. We asked you guys to submit your questions via social media, so I'm here to answer them. Laptop, please. I feel like Sean Evans when I say that from Hot Ones. Hi, Sean. Thank you.
One of the hottest topics right now is the coronavirus pandemic, and one of the most common questions we've received is, when will the pandemic end? Truth be told, we don't have our crystal ball with us right now, so we don't know the answer. We'll just have to wait and see. The remaining COVID-19 questions were around investment opportunities. Which businesses are likely to not survive this, and which ones will thrive post-pandemic? Let's see.
Let's get this out of the way. We've received a bunch of coronavirus questions, so let's address the issue. First of all, I do not have a medical degree, so I do not have an educated enough opinion to have a say in this. I trust medical professionals, and so should you. With that said, I can give a hot take on the future of business and maybe the future of technology, media in this space. So let's give it a shot. Thinking about the coronavirus, there are going to be some businesses that are not going to survive, or at least not thrive the same way they used to do before this. The first businesses that are going to go under are the pretenders. Those businesses started because it was trendy. You did it because you saw somebody else doing it successfully. Those are the people that are usually the first ones wiped out in any type of financial crisis or crisis at all. Another industry that I believe is going to be heavily impacted is cinemas and movie theaters. Why? Because the experience used to suck. They overcharged you for everything. Popcorn was too expensive, people were on their phones either way, and you didn't get to enjoy the movie the same way you used to do it 20 or 30 years ago. Movie studios took a notice of this, and now they're testing premiering box office movies in the comfort of your home, where you can watch it with your friends whenever you want. Just pay a premium. They have no additional cost. Think about movie theaters and the cost associated with running such a business. You have the venue, you have the employees, you have the food, you have the cleaning. These are all expenses which are kind of unnecessary, to be honest. I believe coronavirus will be the end of the shared office space business. WeWork already struggled and proved that the model is not sustainable long term. And secondly, people learn to work from home. People are not going to pay money to go to a shared office space when they can simply set up an office at home. Another category of businesses that are going to struggle are startups that don't have true economics. The startups raise money to have a 6-month runway. Because they're unable to create a real business and all their focus was on buying Facebook ads, trying alternative growth hacking methods, and the consumer behavior changed, they are not gonna be profitable or sustainable. These companies are gonna be wiped out. What else is gonna thrive? Robotics and automation. I think we're gonna see robot deliveries, robot kiosks. McDonald's has already begun installing the self-serve options. And I think we're gonna see a lot more of those. Delivery-only restaurants are gonna be a lot more common than they are now. Restaurants with no physical location, which rely on services like Uber Eats, Foodpanda. Another industry that's gonna blow up is work vacations. People have been working from home for the past couple of months, and they realized it isn't that hard. Most people have found freedom by working from home, so they're gonna pick their laptop and do the same quality of work from Bali or remote locations. Why would you go back to an office? Lastly, online education. You see, in the past, people looked down on online degrees, online education, when compared to traditional education. But the pandemic forced us to rethink that. Even mainstream universities have had to rely on online education, and their degrees are going to be quite the same, which is why more and more people will begin to rely on alternative means of education with the same credentials as traditional ones. We strongly believe in online education. We've developed ALUX into an e-learning platform. Because of this, I believe the future of education lies in taking your classes online, learning new skills, and then being able to transfer those skills into the marketplace.
With the pandemic theme out of the way, let's go on to Instagram for our next question. Giorgio Nafal asked on Instagram, do you believe that YouTube is the future of media and television?
First of all, hi Giorgio, thanks for being an ALUXer. About the future of media and television, Well, short answer, yes. Long answer, yes and no. Here's why. Whenever talking about trends and the future, I like to look at the behavior of the younger generation. You see, probably you and I grew up watching cartoons on Cartoon Network, but the younger generation doesn't do that anymore. They grow up watching Jojo Siwa here on YouTube, watching Mr. Beast and other influencers. But, and I think it's important to know this, there are advantages to traditional television. The main advantage big media companies and traditional television has over YouTube is that they have budgets. They can afford to send trained journalists to war zones across the world with entire teams and high quality production. The kind of involvement that you cannot possibly get here on YouTube, at least at this stage.
We're obviously betting on YouTube, but you should never keep all your eggs in the same basket, ALUXers. Let's go on to the next question. Molly KMH and a lot of other people asked, how do you find your passion?
When it comes to finding your passion, you basically have to try a bunch of things. The more things you try, the more you're able to understand what you like and what you don't. Don't worry if you haven't found your passion yet. Most people take a couple of years to learn more about themselves, to identify the things that they enjoy doing and how they can do it as work. Also, there's not only one passion in life that you need to find in order to be successful or be happy and fulfilled. Passion ties everything together. You can be passionate of one thing next to another, and when those things come together, you can turn that into a business.
But here's something we want you to take note of. Passion is a multiplier. The more passionate you are about something, the quicker you're able to improve in that regard. Also, please note that not every job needs to be driven by passion. It's obviously a plus if you're lucky enough to have your cake and eat it too, but the average person will go for what they're good at in life and pursue passions on the side. Now on to the next one. Laura asks, what advice do you have for students just starting out? What mistakes should we avoid making?
Mistakes to avoid? Well, first things first, don't get trapped. Getting trapped means going into a job that you hate just because it pays the bills and sticking around for the long run. The second mistake students make is that they sell themselves short. Do not let your current salary determine your value to the marketplace. The last mistake I think students make is that they wait to become rich to start living. Throughout life, there are gonna be different versions of you that enjoy different things. There are some things you can only do now.
Also, just because you've invested 4 years in a diploma doesn't mean it defines what you'll do for a living for the rest of your life. The things you've learned stick with you along the way, and you never know what skill set will come into play and be your competitive advantage. Today, things are quite different. We are the first generation that needs to be multifaceted if we want to thrive. You need to be many things, with one of them being the driving force. You're only going to figure all of this out by trying as many things as you can for yourself. Anyways, next question. Oh, here's a good one. The Real Ayush 79 asked, what was it like starting ALUX from scratch?
What was it like starting ALUX from scratch? Well, it was an incredibly awesome experience. Many of you know the story of the Tumblr blog that I've been running for 3 years, and it was time to make a move to a publishing website. After a couple of weeks of work, I was ready to hit publish and go live with everything. I set it up, went live, and then decided to go out with my friends and party. At the end of the evening, when I came back home, I checked my analytics and I made $3.50. That was the best day of my life. Why? Because if I made $3.50 once, I could do it again. This is gonna become a business. The secret to the early ALUX success and growth was reinvesting everything. Every single dollar that came in, I used to hire different writers, invest in a better website design, invest in more technology, in a better laptop, everything I could do to increase the quality of our end product. In the early days of running any startups, every single dollar coming in should be reinvested. Learn as much as possible. Hire the best people you can hire for your budget. Learn to do many of the things yourself. Back in the day, I was the editor, I was the photographer, I was writing articles, I was editing images in Photoshop. I was doing everything I could to push this project further. When the money started coming in, I started hiring people who knew how to do things better than I can. Another thing to mention, it was time-consuming but exciting. I was working for myself. This could become my future. And I decided to go all in on it.
We're so glad everything worked out the way it did. Next one. This next question comes from The Brave on Twitter. What country is the best when starting a business?
Which country is the best for starting a business? Well, the country you live in. Why? You know the people, you know the customers, you know the mindset. Think of it like this. You are the person you're selling to. What would it take for you to buy a product or a service? Then market to people just like you. The second best country is go where the money is. If there's not enough money in your country, move.
You might have heard this before, ALUXers, but follow the money. It's one of those things that rich people always say at casual events. The next question comes from Instagram. How is ALUX planning on growing as an educational platform in the future?
In terms of e-learning and educational growth, we're gonna do more courses. We've wrapped up the production on Gold Mastery, and that's gonna go out in a couple of months. We've almost finished a course on Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto investing. We plan on doing more interviews for you guys. And although this is kind of a secret, we're thinking of publishing our first book sometime soon, no promises.
What do you think about the book idea, ALUXers? What should we focus on? While you're busy leaving your recommendations in the comments, let's jump over to the next one. It comes from @Jonesico on Twitter and goes like this. Have you ever considered ALUX meetings and events for these groups of like-minded people? It might be the next natural step.
We get this question quite a lot. Putting up events is quite a different business than what we're doing right now. These are highly expensive. They take a lot of logistics, the venues. Plus, our audience is so distributed all around the world that it would be difficult to figure out a location where everybody would just come in. Also, would you guys show up?
Who knows? If there's enough interest, maybe we'll do an event at some point. Maybe bring in some interesting people we've met along the way in our own journey. That could be quite fun. Until then, let's see the next question. Robert Welch asked on Facebook, have you thought about a luxury publication?
Initially, ALUX was supposed to be a luxury publication, a luxury magazine that you would get delivered to your house. But who reads magazine these days?
We're so accustomed to giving the information content for free here at ALUX that it might be a bit weird to ask you guys to pay for a subscription just to get some premium articles in your mail. We're betting the future is digital. We're Team Trees here. The next question is asked by Miracle Arima right here on YouTube. I am a teenager about to leave college. What skills do you recommend I learn, and what advice do you have for me?
First of all, English is the default business language, and you should know it by now. You're watching this in English. Secondly, in terms of skills, my bet would be on two categories. The first one, digital skills. The internet is the new marketplace. You should be able to engage with it. In the age of internet, content creation is king. So you gotta learn Photoshop, After Effects, how to create an ad, how to communicate your message, how to write good copy. All of these skills can be learned and are vital to running an internet business. The second category are people skills. With technology changing so much, people are starting to lack human skills. So that's actually a competitive advantage right now.
The next question is quite an interesting one, and we've never really addressed it. So here it is. What does ALUX even mean?
The short answer is ALUX stands for anything luxury, but there's more to that. There's a mythological story behind the name. So, story time. An ALUX is actually a mythological creature in the Mayan culture, very much like a leprechaun in Ireland. The story goes that while you were walking through the fields, you would encounter this ALUX, and your fate would be determined right then and there. If you treat the ALUX nicely, you would be rewarded with fortune and riches and good crops and health in your life. If you didn't, all hell would break loose. We find the name quite fitting.
We've received plenty of questions about the behind-the-scenes process, so let's do a lightning round on this. Team, time, inspiration, Sunday video, travel videos, and the ALUX lady. Oh, that's me.
A bunch of you were wondering what's ALUX like behind the scenes, how do we make the videos, what's our process like? First of all, our team is scattered all around the world. We've been working from home way before it was cool. How long does it take to make an ALUX video? We get this question quite a lot. Well, it depends. It can take a couple of weeks, or it can take a couple of days. How many people work on an ALUX video? That depends as well. We have 2 or 3 researchers on a topic, 1 or 2 editors, of course the ALUX lady, the voiceover, and then there's me overseeing the entire process. Where do we get our inspiration from? Because we have such a diverse team of people working at ALUX, they all have different interests. They are passionate about different things and they look into it. Our job is to figure out how to turn their interests into valuable content that can be applied by you guys, the ALUXers. My job here at ALUX is to not only oversee the entire process, but also write the Sunday motivational video. The Sunday motivational video is quite special because it began as myself simply documenting the things I was learning and experiencing in the business world. It wasn't meant to go public. It was just me taking notes in a notepad or a Google Doc, and then I realized, okay, if I'm benefiting and learning from these things, why don't I share the things that I learn with other people through this platform we've been able to create? Are we gonna do more travel videos? That's another question we get quite a lot. Well, first of all, coronavirus hit, everything was stalled. Personally, I love doing them. They're super exciting. I get to meet all those people. I travel all around the world. I get to bring you guys with us, but they're quite expensive and time consuming. And right now we need to focus our priorities on what's bringing more revenue and adding more value to you guys. And travel videos fall somewhere behind the quality content we push every day. When can we meet the ALUX lady? Well, that's not up to me.
Yes. When will we get to meet the ALUX lady? Seems to be on a lot of minds, huh? And my friend, the answer is, we'll play that one by ear. You might have heard us say once, twice, or 5 times before that privacy is a luxury, and it's one I'm enjoying. For now. Who knows what could happen when we hit 10 million subscribers? I guess you'll just have to wait and see. ALUX Growth.
Where do you think ALUX is going to be in terms of growth and valuation in the coming years? Well, I strongly believe that ALUX is going to be a 10 million subscriber YouTube channel, and we're going to be at least $20 million business in the next 5 years. I'm working my ass to do it.
ALUX and the Pandemic.
How did COVID-19 affect ALUX and the business? It didn't affect us much, really. In terms of revenue, advertising rates dropped a little bit because not so many advertisers were purchasing ads on YouTube. But on the other hand, a bunch of more people were just sitting at home watching YouTube and choosing to watch us.
Speaking of YouTube, you know what would be a great way to celebrate this milestone? Turning on the bell notification. You never hear us ask for it, but YouTube has this algorithm change where they push harder the channels which have the most people with notifications turned on. It's no longer enough to subscribe to a channel. You have to do this weird dance where you have to get notified, watch it, and then like the video, otherwise YouTube won't show it to the rest of our audience. The journey so far has been incredible, and believe us when we say it, we're just getting started.
On behalf of everyone here at ALUX, we're incredibly thankful for your continuous support. As long as you guys keep coming back and watching these videos, we'll keep making them. We can't wait to hear from you in the comments. The Q&A continues there. Thank you.
Thank you for spending some time with us, ALUXers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an ALUXer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.